Hello friends, we continue our series, Who are our oligarchs betting on in the presidential elections, which will definitely happen this year. Today, Viktor Pinchuk. Viktor Pinchuk deserves a separate, lengthy video, which will definitely be released on my channel. Subscribe now so you don't miss anything and like this video. And I consider him the greatest evil among all the oligarchs in Ukraine right now. Without a doubt, he is the most influential. He's been a long-time enemy of Ihor Kolomoisky and just influenced the decision to imprison Kolomoisky. Well, not in prison yet, just in pretrial detention, but Kolomoisky has already been in pretrial detention for more than a year, you know. Kolomoisky had his channel taken away. And as for Kolomoisky as an influential person, today I don't want to talk about that. He's been taken down, seriously hit, and Pinchuk has spread his wings. Pinchuk is closely connected with both George Soros and the Democratic Party of the United States of America. I made 2 full videos and spent significant time on streams discussing the United States Agency for International Development Foundation. Leftist leadership in Ukraine has caused grief and trouble, even carrying out destructive and subversive activities on our territory. One of the architects of this is Viktor Pinchuk. I also consider him one of the beneficiaries and most likely also an architect of the creation of the deep state in Ukraine. So, who is he betting on? According to rumors, everything I've said in this video is all rumors. His first candidate is Serhiy Prytulov. You could talk about this for an hour, 2 or 3, but I'll try to keep it within 5 minutes. Who is Serhiy Prytulov? Please answer the first question for yourself now. Is he an actor, an artist, a comedian? I'll just share my own opinion. A mediocre actor with crude humor who, thanks to family connections, rose in political circles and of course has recognition. That's the nasty part of the whole situation of everyone we're discussing in this video series. And in general, in politics, to be successful in Ukrainian politics, you need to have recognition from the start, a priori. And people absolutely don't care what's in your head or what you're proposing. They quickly forget backgrounds, as with Arestovich, Smeshko, Lyashko, and nearly all the Prytulas. What competencies does this person have for politics? Did he create some kind of business? Is he a professional in any field? Excuse me, but being a professional low-grade comedian taking part in this kind of vulgarity, does that automatically give you the opportunity to be a good politician? But most importantly, what does he offer? Communist, leftist, right-wing, centrist, or libertarian? Who is Serhiy Prytulov? What ideas does Serhiy Prytulov have? This person is connected with the Holos party. This person ran in the Marakhiv elections. With what ideas? The same as always. I'm a good guy, vote for me because I'm a true Ukrainian. Those others aren't real Ukrainians. I know you're saying volunteer now, and now tell me, isn't this a path into politics built on blood and billions are being donated to him at someone else's expense? He has major protection from intelligence services since such large money flows need their involvement. His security is strong because it's tied to the army and big sums of money. Yes, all of this is present, but do you really want to choose a person who enters politics simply by using weakness and recognition? By weakness, I mean, he's a volunteer, he has helped a lot. No, a foundation was created around a public figure, a media personality, as a political technology. Did this benefit the front? Yes, definitely, but what does that have to do with politics? Those people who donated to this foundation, if there had been no such foundation or Prytula, would have definitely donated in some other way anyway. This money would have reached the army and the military anyway, just not through Serhiy Prytula. So, build the chain of events in your head. So they went through Prytula's foundation, increased his rating and recognition, and therefore his political rating as well. Is that logical for someone people want to trust with running Ukraine? I'm not even mentioning all his aggressive statements right now. He tells one person to go suck off his own dog, tells another that guys from the main intelligence directorate will come to him and explain everything in the comments, repeatedly threatening people with these aggressive statements. Give someone like that some power. Now you're a politician, not just a blogger or anyone else. You're leading a foundation, even without official government authority. You're already treating people badly and threatening them with special services. We're dealing with Zelensky now, who didn't threaten us, but lost his mind in the process. And his propagandists used to say, like Masvichuk, knock knock, the security service of Ukraine will come for everyone. And in the end, some are being taken by the Territorial Recruitment Center, others by the Security Service of Ukraine. And that's the Security Service of Ukraine. A faction of the Security Service of Ukraine, specifically under Zelensky, is involved in politically persecuting his opponents and serving the regime. And as I'm telling you this now, I catch myself thinking, what are we even discussing here? What are we discussing? Who is Prytula? Is Prytula even capable of having a debate with me, for example? An ideological debate. You know what? He'll immediately say Rusnya when someone calls him a Soros supporter, and he says, you're using the same terminology as Medvedchuk and Dubinsky. They're always ready to call someone Rusnya, and then there's something else. You can't call someone a Soros supporter. And you're speaking Russian, right? I see, but do you actually have anything to say, Prytula? Can you answer real questions, serious, tough political questions about your ideology? What are you proposing? We haven't gotten to the main point. The first question is, what are they offering me? Let me set that aside. Even if a person has some achievements or recognition, what is he offering me? In the case of Prytula, nothing. Let's move on. Now things are going to get much more serious. We'll discuss Valerii Zaluzhny, the former commander-in-chief of Ukraine's armed forces. Serious negotiations are underway about this candidate. Poroshenko's team has tried several times to push a plan for Zaluzhny as president and Poroshenko as prime minister, which I don't believe at all. Zelensky and Yermak are trying to force him to join their party as the top candidate through blackmail. After that, I'm unsure if they want him as prime minister or parliament head. With Zelensky as president, either is possible. A real disaster for Ukraine. The disaster will happen halfway through. It will happen when Zaluzhny accepts the rules of the game within his own circle. Standard for our politics. So, I will be a figurehead. I won't lead any ideology. I will just present myself as a good person, not as someone who stands for something. And this, of course, is the favorite scheme of Viktor Pinchuk, who has very extensive connections. In the United Kingdom, there are even rumors about recruited individuals. 6. I already mentioned the connections with Soros and the Democratic Party of the United States. He is very wealthy and influential. Of course, they can mess with Zaluzhny's head and carry out this whole scheme, but you can only mess with the head of someone who allows it to happen.
And today, not everyone can look into tomorrow. Or rather, not just anyone can look. Very few people can actually do it.
At first, I supported on my channel. I don't delete videos. On my channel, there are videos where I support Valerii Zaluzhny. I nominated him for president in summer 2023. But then a series of huge global mistakes followed. His photo, his statements, he completely played along with this regime, and I see this as the biggest mistake. And now we are hostages of the situation. Why? Because Zaluzhny now has genuine support and a 35% presidential rating. He would currently defeat both Zelensky and Poroshenko combined in a second round. What's good about this? Zelensky's rating is fading more and more every day, and that's very good, and it will keep going like this. Zaluzhny's rating is still stable for now, but every statement like this doesn't raise his rating either. The time will come when Zaluzhny will have to make political statements. The time will come when Zaluzhny will have to answer uncomfortable questions. If his advisors are chosen, no matter who he works with, if his advisors, God willing, he stays out of all this himself. G. If his advisors pick a strategy like Zelensky's, staying silent and avoiding interviews to prevent mistakes, it will end the same way as it did for Zelensky. I'm concerned that Zaluzhny supports an ideology of unfreedom. If he asked us to choose between democracy and the country's existence, we'd choose the country's existence. And we will send almost anyone to the front, even women. And to mobilize people without any rules is wrong. It's a mistake not to discuss this. You know, it's like asking who you love more, your dad or your mom. It's the same kind of question. Once you ask it, you've already lost. And Zaluzhny did this publicly. Who allowed this? Let Valentin Fyodorovich figure it out. He should too. People talk about him in different ways. In connection with Klitschko, let's not forget about Klitschko, but honestly, Klitschko doesn't have any presidential rating at all. There too, they pair him with Budanov. What I'm saying here is just rumors, not final. Things could change many times, and there will likely be a record number of candidates this year. That's not the main question. The main question is the same as for the previous candidates. What does Valerii Zaluzhny stand for? What does he want to give Ukraine? So far, I haven't heard anything. Yes, he's a good man. People who worked with him say so. I have no complaints about him as a military man, and it's not my place to judge. Thank you for saving Kiev and Ukraine in those first days. Right now, we're discussing, just as I said about the previous candidates connected to the army politics as soon as the election campaign starts. Did you forget about the military man Zaluzhny? You can forget about Zaluzhny as a military man. He's now an ambassador in London wearing a suit. He also went through the medical board, was deemed unfit and sent away. While they're drafting other young guys, you see like Zaluzhny, a military man of that kind, and as we talked with someone, Zaluzhny wants to be appointed president. He's not ready to fight, and that means if you're not ready to fight, then you're not driven by ideology, you're not driven to do something. If appointed, I'll be president. If made ambassador, I'll swap my uniform for a nice suit and be ambassador. If made president, I'll wear an even better suit and tie and be president. But as people say, it's neither fish nor meat. I really want to be wrong. I really want to end up supporting Zaluzhny. But if he works with Pinchuk, Poroshenko or Zelensky, I will never do that. Because the terrible situation that they've brought Ukraine to, I couldn't even imagine that Zelensky or anyone else would be capable of this, or that the people would even allow this to happen. We allowed it, but I warned. And in order to respond to such horrors in time and to correct the situation, to influence, I would say, the situation, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and the bell. I'm waiting for your comments about everything you've heard and about the candidates for now.